Hello and welcome to Strategic News International. I'm Parul Chandra and with me is Dr. Lobsang Sangay. He is the president of the Tibetan government in exile. Thank you, Dr. Sangay, for sparing time to speak to us.
Welcome.
Let me begin by asking you about the current human rights situation in Tibet.
Now, as far as Freedom House organization, which comes with Freedom Index every year, have listed Tibet as the second least free region in the whole world after Syria for 3 years in a row. So everybody knows about Syria,
Yes.
but how many people know that Tibet is the second least free region in the whole world? So there is political repression, hence there are self-immolations by Tibetans. 153 Tibetans have committed self-immolation, cultural assimilation, religious freedom being denied. That's why the Chinese government is destroying, as we speak, demolishing Yachingar nunnery, where 5,000 nuns are practicing, but half of it are demolished, and hundreds and thousands of nuns are being chased away, never to come back again. So a few years ago, the Serta monastery, where you have anywhere from 10 to 20,000 monks and nuns, was demolished. So you can clearly see that there is environmental destruction going on, cultural assimilation going on, social marginalization going on, clearly the denial of religious freedom and violation of human rights.
What
is very
about,
clear.
sorry for interrupting you, what about the detention camps in Tibet? It's being said that they're similar to the camps that they have for the Uyghurs in the Xinjiang province.
Yeah.
So something similar going on?
Absolutely, because the party secretary of Xinjiang was the party secretary of Tibet Autonomous Region for 5 years. He is the same architect. For 5 years when he was in Tibet, he had opened many detention camps, education through labor, and historically speaking also a very famous dissident called Harry Wu.
Okay.
He died a few years ago. He was a democracy activist. In his autobiography, he says that he was sent to a gulag.
Okay.
And the gulag was in Tibet. So historically, Tibet had gulags, education through labor, and detention camps. So he's the same architect. Even today, there are detention camps in Tibet, but not at the scale that we see in Xinjiang.
Now you've been traveling the world, taking up the cause for Tibet, and you've also been speaking about the growing Chinese influence the world over. And what would you say to this, and also about this debt trap diplomacy being practiced by China, its Belt and Road Initiative?
Yes, I've been in my position for 8 years. The first 5 years was very difficult because Chinese influence was growing economically, thereby politically, and wherever I go or Tibet issues raised, being silenced or discouraged. Even the many leaders in Western countries also shy away from meeting you and cancel meetings at the last moment. But in the last 3 years, there has been a reverse. People are very interested about China, at the same time very skeptical about China, right? Hence, they want to know about Tibet. And for example, the Belt and Road Initiative is one mega project the Chinese government has, but we have been the first victim of Belt and Road Initiative because one road was promised to Tibetans from connecting China to Tibet. But once the road was completed, trucks came, guns came, tanks came, soldiers came, occupied our country. Now one road has become 100 roads leading all mainly to natural resources, our gold, our copper, our uranium, our lithium, our forests, and most importantly, mega dam projects to generate hydropower and money for Chinese companies. So hence we have been the first victim of Belt and Road Initiative. That's what we want to share. And people are growing, increasingly interested as to what China is doing, and what we always say, if you want to know about China, you must know about Tibet.
You've been the leader of Tibetans in exile for now 8 years. What are your expectations from China now?
Well, 60 years of experience clearly shows that we are skeptical as to what Chinese government will do because the situation has gone from bad to worse. But we still remain hopeful that there will be a dialogue between the envoys of the Dalai Lama and representative of the Chinese government to resolve the issue of Tibet peacefully based on middle way approach. That's our hope.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sangay, for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much for your time.